Good afternoon. At the appointed hour, I will call to order the April 26th meeting of the Oklahoma City Riverfront Redevelopment Authority. Item 2 is items from the chairman. I don't have anything other than we have. I'll introduce Brian to give us a little announcement, please.
I appreciate it, Chairman, but I have made notice to the mayor that I am retiring from OCCF, and so I think it's the appropriate time for me to move off the River Trust. I've been here for about 22 years, I think, and it's been enjoyable, and I think we've made a lot of progress, so I appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I really hate to see you go. I'm happy that you get to head to retirement. I can attest to that it's really fun, but we're going to miss you on the River Trust. Brian has always been a hard worker for us. I've never heard him say no to anything we wanted him to do or any committee we wanted him to serve on. And he's done an excellent job over the years and long time. No.
I was hoping that he'd serve another 22 years.
We appreciate that very much, and happy retirement, Brian. This is his last meeting, by the way. So, item 3 is the minutes from the March 29th meeting. Any changes or corrections? I need a motion. We have a motion and a second. Cast your vote. And that passes. Item 4 is the consent docket. We have an oil and gas revenue report and an Oklahoma River corridor events update. Any questions on either one of those? Have a motion? Have a motion and a second. Cast your vote. And that passes. Item 5 is primary agenda items. Item A is Oklahoma River Maintenance Projects Update. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. My name is Joe Shumway, Oklahoma City Public Works. Our update for April is as follows. The sediment dredging contract, we continue to remove materials from the sites. We anticipate this will be completed by summer. Our floating dredge has arrived in Oklahoma City. Additional operational equipment such as discharge hose and geotextile tubes are being procured. We anticipate the start date of this activity early this summer. Our SCADA system project is ongoing as we continue to repair additional sensors and monitors for the river. Our Oklahoma structural inspection has been completed. We anticipate the report within the next 30 days. The river maintenance repair projects, we reworked an area on the south end of the Brum Dam where there was some erosion and some collecting areas for debris, and we were able to reestablish that to help protect against further erosion. During the month of March, our river crews removed 33.5 tons of debris out of the river. And MB 1593, which is an addition to our existing river maintenance facility. You'll see in the next few slides some renderings. This provides for an additional section where we'll have 2 offices, a conference room. The building's approximately about 600 feet of an additional area for supervisory staff for the river maintenance crews. Is there any questions?
Any questions? Very good. I need a motion to accept that report. Motion and a second. Cast your vote. And that passes. Item B is an update on the GO bond project improvements to Wiley Post Park, 1700 South Robinson. We have Brian Boydston from Parks here.
Good afternoon, Brandon Boyson, Park Planning and Development Manager for Oklahoma City Parks. Wiley Post is wrapping up construction, so we were able to accomplish improved connections for the bicycle and pedestrians, both off of Robinson and Walker. So those connections are now, the bicycle lanes connecting on Walker now connect down to the trail. So that has been part of the project. Also part of the project was improved vehicular circulation. So now we have connections from Walker Avenue as well as Robinson. And so that kind of helps us to get traffic in and out for events and things like that. The large parking lot that was in the Wiley Post, if you remember, we had some issues with it as far as non-desirable activities. The parking has been redesigned and distributed across the park itself. And we've also had the opportunity to use a pervious paving system for those parking areas. And so we also are kind of looking at spreading the parking out, but also a better drainage management system that's there. And so as a whole, you know, the current project that's wrapping up really sets a stage for future development of that park and kind of gives us a good opportunity to move forward with that. So that is the current update on Wiley Post. Any questions?
Good. Any questions? Thanks. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Need a motion to accept that? Cast your vote. It passed. Item C is an update on the Stockyards City Area Master Plan. We have Elizabeth Laurel from the Alliance here. Afternoon.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Elizabeth Larios. I'm with the Alliance for Economic Development of Oklahoma City. Thank you all very much for giving us the opportunity to update you today. The master plan is complete. The master plan is a product of collaboration of work that was done with PDG, GH2 Equine Architects, Gibbs Planning Group, the Alliance for Economic Development of Oklahoma City, the Oklahoma City's Planning Department, Stockyards City Main Street, and Oklahoma National Stockyards. A full plan can be found on our Alliance website under projects, if you guys want to see that, including the appendix. The Stockyards Master Plan sets a revitalization recommendation for the Oklahoma City Stockyards District. Extensive research was done, including analysis and various economic development analysis, including community engagement efforts in order to arrive to the master plan that we have today. Towards the end of the document, you'll be able to see the implementation toolkit. This identifies funding sources that can be used in order to make these projects come to life. The area that you see in red on the map is actually the project area, which was studied. PDG partnered with Gibbs Planning Group in order to do the market research and analysis. The biggest finding that I wanted to point out is that the study suggests that the district could support up to 60,000 square feet, additional square feet in retail and restaurants. Community engagement efforts were done. On the screen, you'll see the groups that we did focus groups and interviews with. In addition to these groups, there were also 12 other phone interviews that were done with people that could maybe either not join the focus groups or maybe didn't fit into a specific group, but did have a lot of really interesting and meaningful things to say in regards to the plan. The study was done, the community engagement was actually done from December of 2020 to April of 2021. 5 stakeholder groups were surveyed. A total of 274 responses were gathered. There was a clear desire for amenities catering to visitors and tourists, and the residents had a clear desire for quality of life improvements like a grocery store and other daily life amenities. I did want to note that 176 resident surveys were collected, which is pretty high for a study of this size, so we're really proud of that. Some of the survey findings that are on your screen are actually in regards to the riverfront, to the river horse park area. The equine industry wanted an indoor arena in addition to a food hall. Residents showed that they wanted outdoor event space, and business and property owners showed that they also desired a food hall. In regards to this group, we also did surveys and focus groups and interviews with this group today, so thank you all for your input. The findings that came from this was actually a desire for trailheads, for outdoor event venues, and pedestrian connections. These are, again, some specific findings over the focus groups and interviews. The biggest thing there at the bottom where you see the preferred agritourism facility, that's where we're talking about the riverfront, the river horse park. The stables and trailhead connections is the biggest desire that was shown for this park piece. We also wanted to make a note that there was a desire for usability of River Horse Park that dates back all the way back to 2013. Efforts had previously been made, and we did want to honor those efforts and put those in the plan. And this group, of course, might know a little bit more about those specific efforts and that history, but we wanted to include that in the plan, and it is in there. The plan also mentions that there wasn't always funding for these dreams to come to fruition, but again, we wanted to just kind of talk about the history of wanting to use that piece of property. So this map here shows the project area. The colors, the pieces of property that you see in color, or the things that you see on numbers, that is where the specific recommendations are. There are a total of 10 recommendations that were laid out in the plan. The Agritourism Park, this is actually the first area that's addressed in the agritourism, as an agritourism piece for the River Horse Park. The goal was to diversify the audience of use so that the park can actually help attract more funding sources as well, so that a lot of these things can kind of come to fruition. So the vision and the recommendation for this piece of property by the river, you can actually see the big, I'm going to start with the big section in green that says Agri-Park. That section there was envisioned and proposed as a space that could be split up into different parcels. The white lines throughout would be the suggestion of trailheads. The red little tents are examples of maybe where there could be an event on a specific parcel happening, and those can be tents. Then the other pieces are things, again, that can be flex, seasonal programming can be done, including crop installations. And then also just any one of those pieces could also be used as a flex space for residents to use as event space. The section also includes this section over here includes the covered arena and the outdoor arena. And then connected to it would be the food hall or a cafe option. And then in between the covered arena and the agri-park is the livestock and horse barn, which could also be used for staging for events that are happening in the covered arena. And then the last slide shows just some inspirational pictures of what it could look like if this space came to life, and some examples of what's happening in other areas similar to this across the country. And again, just kind of hoping that we can maybe see something like this here in Oklahoma City, and that's what these pictures are meant to inspire. So again, and I just wanted to remind everybody that the full report, the full plan is available on the website, including all of the surveys. There's a lot of really good data in the Gibbs study, and that's included in the plan as well. So thank you all very much.
Any questions? We appreciate the presentation. As she said, there's no funding available for this park right now. The group that had the MOU on it, which has expired, has not done much fundraising because there wasn't much public money come in with it also, so that slowed down. We have a meeting coming up where we're going to meet with the Alliance and Parks and the horse group and so forth. Parks would like to utilize this area temporarily for whatever they can get down in there for sports or recreation, or get the public in there to use the park. Number one, it'll help the homeless situation down there, the encampments maybe, we can not have such a trouble with them, and give the people a place to use it until such time as we can either find the funding or get the equestrian part of it and the agritourism part of it going with money, either public, private, or whatever. So it's not dead in the water for sure. We're going to move forward on it, but right now we're going to talk about what we can do in the interim. Any questions? Okay, motion to accept this report, please. Cast your vote. Okay, that passes. Item D is the audit contract with Allen Gibbs and Hulick LC for a 21-22 audit. Any questions on that? Any motion? Cast your vote. That passes. Item E is a revocable permit with the National MS Society for Walk MS Oklahoma on May 7th using the South River Trail. I think this has already passed at council today, so we're simply receiving that permit. I need a motion. Cast your vote. And that passes. Item F is a revocable permit with the River Sport Foundation for the Central Youth Rowing Championship on May 7th and 8th. Again, this was passed this morning at council. We're just receiving the permit. I need a motion. Cast your vote. That passes. Item 6 is the claims docket. Any questions? Need a motion on that? Cast your vote. That passes. Item 7 is comments, Park and Recreation Director's report. Written report is in there. Melissa, you got anything else you want to add?
No, I have nothing else to add unless there are any questions. I would recommend you receive the report. Thank you.
Any questions on our report? Motion to accept that? Our computer locked up. Now, there we go. Now we need a motion in a second. All right, cast your vote. Do we have any comments from trustees?
Brian, seriously, I want to thank you for serving the amount of time that you did, but A couple of thoughts. When you always came to a meeting, you were prepared. Your historical knowledge was always beneficial to anything we were analyzing. And I think people will know that your beautification efforts down on the river are something that we should all remember for a long, long time. You may be gone, but you will be missed and you will be remembered. Thank you.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll echo that. The river, if you ever walk the river and you think this really looks nice down here, that Brian had a large part to do with that. We're going to miss him. Any other comments from trustees? Staff have any further things? Any citizens to be heard? We are adjourned.